Hey everybody, welcome back after a rocky yesterday. Welcome back to this episode of Reaper Pro Tips with me, your host, and Disembodied Hands, Justin, or Quindy. Quindy's got our Disembodied Hands. Whoa, Justin got promoted there. Let's demote him really quick. And our devoted tech helpers, Justin and John, and obviously a Kiki. Yes, obviously a Kiki, who is feeling much better today after being horribly disruptive to my sleep schedule yesterday. Hi, Ba. Yeah? Yeah, did you say hi? Okay, let's get you go. Go ahead, go get your chew. Yeah, you can do it. Oh, I know, that's a little narrow, huh? There you go. Good girl. Good girl, Kiki. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. Oh, boy. Hello, Wasser. Hello, everybody. Kiki the fungus forager. Yeah, for those who didn't hear, my Doma dog, I think the reason she had such severe gastric upset the night before last is she ate a mushroom, or she ate part of one anyway. I found there were some that just popped up on like that side of our house near our gate. And as I was taking her out yesterday when she was sick, I looked down and there was a mushroom and there was Kiki diving for it. So I was like, "Urgh!" So yeah, I picked them all. But, yeah, and mushrooms can be serious. So, I mean, it really ran her for a loop. And she's a big dog, and I think she only maybe ate, like, a third of one, maybe. But, yeah, eating all the things. She's gone from, it's funny as heck, because she went from, at less than 6 months, she was the puppy that never destroyed her toys, to the puppy that is now destroying everything. All the toys. I can't give her a toy that's not safe. She will have the stuffing chewed out and part of it swallowed in, like, less than 3 minutes. Yeah, well, definitely it totally like really made her sick. Like she was retching and having diarrhea. It was not fun. Agent Marvel, I got maybe 4 hours of sleep the night before last, and that is non-functional and zone. So yeah, I called off the stream and I went to bed at 9 p.m. last night. I feel fantastic today. So yeah, we're much better today. Oof, yeah. So that's where we are. That's where we are, guys. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the whole world is a toy. That's Kiki, all right. That is Keeker. All right, so we just have very little to do on this model. Just really the face. And maybe some... I'll have to take a look at the leather. But I also have Kathy Wapple waiting in the wings here. So if we run out of yellow, we've got more to do. David suggested that Kathy should be purple and teal. I'm up for that. We haven't done we did a purple and teal for Necrocat, but Necromancer, but it wasn't a real strong purple and teal. So that shout was actually appropriate, Turgeon, because the whole world is a toy. Actually, is about the way that Kiki views it. Well, the thing is, Kurtiko, is that we've had this house now for over a couple of years and we've never seen them before. It's just we're getting so much rain this spring. So most of the time, it's just not a problem. And now that we know, I can be vigilant because it's really only that side of the house. So, yeah. Okay, well, I will ask you on, I'll tag you on... If I need non-harmful fungus destroyer, I'll tag you on my Discord and ask you. But yeah. Oh, used to be a fungal surveyor. Well, that's good. Yeah, so totally. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Shadow Raven, don't downplay that stuff, especially as we get older. I hate to say this, but especially as we, as a collective, get older, and it doesn't matter if you're just, in your 30s or what, but your body cannot fight quite as well, depending on how you treat yourself. But, sometimes immune systems are silly that way. I learned that way the hard way. Oh, she thinks mushrooms are the best. Kiki just likes anything new. So to suddenly have these bright white things on the side of her yard, she was like, oh. And then she's like, these are edible, because she loves plants. This is the dog that when we make asparagus, to get her to leave us alone, David gives her a spear of asparagus. And she eats it. Like, this dog is like Ridiculous. She's ridiculous. I told her this morning, I was laughing because I gave her Kiri's old Nylabone, and which she likes every once in a while. This is my last Kiri toy. And I was telling her, Kiri was a very old soul. Kiri never ate a mushroom or even wanted to eat a mushroom. She was a very old soul. You know how some dogs have that look where they're just kind of grave, serious puppies and they grow into grave, serious adults? That was Kiri. And I look at Kiki and I'm like, Kiki, you are a very new soul. Very, very new. Yeah, see? Mushroom and asparagus. Oh, a dog that would dig up his own radishes. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm glad you're okay, Shadow Raven. Yeah, we've gotten so much rain. Like, it's good for California because, you know, it refills the aquifers, but it's like, and the reservoirs and the everything. But yeah. Yeah, I know, right, Mr. Nobody? I wondered about that, but I'm not hardcore enough wondering to actually sniff or pee. Yes. Please don't pass Shadow Raven. We'd miss you, and we wouldn't know what happened. But yeah, be careful. Be careful. Do your best to keep yourself well. All right, so let's grab, we're making some skin tone. Yeah, skin tone. And happily, with this model, we only need, like, 4 colors, because everything on this model is mixed with 4 colors. So for those who have not encountered this model before, it is only 4 colors. Let me get out where's my Rogue Shadow? There it is. I'm going to have to order another fast palette, just get another bottle of Rogue Shadow, because I'm going through it so darn fast. Okay, at ReaperCon this year, guys, we have to poke Ron. Like, we have to, like, totally jump up and down at Ron and say, please, 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 would you put out the freaking fast palette colors as singles? Please. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So that's our job. That's our job to, like, start rabble-rousing on that. I'm not sure whose call it is, but Ron is one of the people who could bring it up and probably make it happen. So, yes. Point out to him that Reaper would make more money if they would just make it available that, you know, they could just, like, have little tubs of the popular fast palette paints out in. They wouldn't even have to take up too much room in the warehouse. Just little things, little containers. Wouldn't even need the big tubs. Just of the colors that, it's not like Reaper can't look at sales and figure out which are the popular colors for that, right? Some fast palette colors probably would sell one every month or several months, and some fast palette colors would sell like a ton, like Kraken Ink and Rogue Shadow. So yeah, but it's well, Reaper Live isn't the best place to do it. Reaper Live, you can come off as just annoying. I mean, you could try it, but, I mean, definitely do it here and there on Reaper Live so that he knows it's just not a couple of people at ReaperCon. But it's good to do it in person, like, to touch base and say, Ron, seriously, we're not just giving you shit. We would really love this. So, yeah. Yeah, see, as Reaper Live, the problem with Reaper Live is it's too big, and the chat flies by, and, you know, Justin will catch a message every once in a while. But then there are also topics, I'm sure of this, I'm absolutely dead certain of it, where Ron has just said, just don't read those questions. You know, we can't answer them right now, so don't read those questions. That's the way it is. So. Yeah, exactly. Well, I trust our servitors to catch important questions for Ron. Justin always caught questions that I missed when I was streaming, but then maybe Justin has his hands full. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Doing a shading fast palette, a specialty one, would be kind of cool. All right, let me see here. So, in skin tones, if y'all are on my Patreon, patreon.com/paintingbig, then you know the secret of mixing skin tones, right? We start with a yellow, and then we add a little bit of a red so that we get an orange. And then we add some white to lighten it just a little so that we can see what our color actually is, because otherwise mixing these two is going to give you a really dark orange. And then we add, or you can do this before the white as well if you're confident, but we add a little bit of a muting color, in this case Rogue Shadow. And then we get a skin tone. So yes, I just did a PDF on this from a $10 level 2 months ago, and then a video demonstrating it live. And I did it on this figure. And so we set up the skin tones. That's entirely just mixed on screen using that kind of technique. And I'll be doing her hair this month. We'll do the hair. Actually, that's my job today, is to make serious progress on that PDF that I started for the $10 tier. But yes. Oh, you did, Dogfather. Woo! Yes, for anybody who missed it, I published my book finally. My book is out. Woo! And you can find it on Amazon right now. And yesterday I uploaded the files to Ingram's. So as soon as Ingram's populates, God knows how many weeks that's going to take because they're old school. As soon as that populates, books should be orderable at Barnes & Noble's online store, and you should be able to get any of your local bookstores to order it by giving them the title and the author. They should be able to look it up once Ingram's populates. So, yeah. So, though, for those of you who just don't like Amazon or don't want to order and support your local bookstore, which I totally support. Are you reading it? Are you reading it, Kerniko? Okay. Once you finish reading it, you have to tell me who your favorite character is. That's my thing. It's going to be my thing from now until the end of time. Good. Yeah, Ingram's is a distributor, so you can't buy from Ingram, but Ingram distributes to all of the everything, like bookstores, libraries, Ingram is the big book printer and distributor. So you order it, essentially you go walk into your local Barnes & Noble or your local bookstore and say, hey, I need to order something. They're distributed through Ingram's. And here's the title and author. You should be able to look it up. So, but that's going to take a little while because Ingram's takes at least a full week just to process it. So, oh, did the cover show up on Goodreads? Oh, I'm so excited, Quinty. That's so good. Oh, that's it. Because I went to Goodreads and I tried to set up my author profile, but it still wasn't, I couldn't pull it from Amazon. It wasn't showing up yet. And I was like, awesome. I'm so happy. Yeah. So yay. Good. That's next. So now I need to go claim my author page on Goodreads. So I can put up my bio and stuff. Be like a real author, All right, so I'm tickled. In case you can't tell, like when I first put out the book, then it was just in shock for the first day. Like I was excited, but I was in shock. And then yesterday was so like sleep deprived, I felt actually nauseous, and so I couldn't be excited. Today, I'm on full sleep. And I'm like I'm here for it. I'm here for it today, guys. I'm so excited. It's called East of the Sun, and it is by A.E. Becker, because I used my previous name as a pen name, not my current name, because it's better if they can't find you. Of course, you guys can find me, but it disenables stalking, which is a thing with authors. Hold on, I'll pull it up on my Amazon. You can actually look it up, East of the Sun, Becker. It'll come up. B as in boy, E-C-K-E-R. And there we go. And it's on Kindle Unlimited if you want to read it on that way. And there it is. Look, it's here. Yay. So you could do that, and you could do either. You could either buy it for $4.99 if you want to own it for good, or you can Kindle Unlimited it, and then there's a paperback. And if you want to buy it, you have to click on that little tiny, they're hiding it underneath the read for free button. And then it goes, you can buy it for your Kindle. What? #1 new release where? How? What? That can't be. That totally can't be. Like I checked and it was like, I checked my look at the Amazon page again. I have to put my glasses on because I can't even see it. Oh, wow. It is. Holy crap. Holy crap. Okay, I'm screenshotting that. And then I'm going to send it to David with a little arrow and a pointy thing. Nice. Holy crap. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I have to send this to David right away. Because, oh my god. Ermagerd. Hold on. How do I even mark it up? Oh, there's the marker. Now I need a big red, bright red marker. There. Good. That's good. How about that? Yeah, that's good. Done. And now I need to bright. There. Done. There. Now I have a giant red arrow. Holy crap. Oh, wow. That might give me some traction, guys. That might get me some, because that's a big category. Holy crap. Like, that's insane. Like, I just looked at, wow. Okay. I'm just like, I'm blown away now. I'm glad we looked. All right. So, yay. All right. Now I'm like totally psyched. I'm like total psyched. I'm sending him an, oh my God. That is so cool. All right. So hopefully people are reading it and liking it then. Because, like, I haven't even announced it on, like, the Patreon, the bigger Patreon. I haven't even dropped that post. I haven't even dropped it to my Facebook. Yeah, like, that's insane. Like, maybe I just got lucky. Maybe I just got lucky and there weren't, like, other books in that genre, like, releasing in these last couple days. Shit. Serious? Oh my God. Yeah, remember when you read the original fairy tale? There are several versions. So mine, and I'll actually talk to you about this. Hold on, I gotta go and actually look at my categories. I have to find my categories so I can screenshot the Fantasy 16 and Fantasy and Magic. Because I actually didn't have them do... There we go, let's see it. 24 and... Okay, so yeah. And remember, like, that was... So it's already dropping. But that's okay. I'm still in, like, number 148 in teen and young adult fairy tales and folklore adaptations. This is good, guys. This is good shit. Oh my God. Like, holy crap. Miniatures Den, you just missed it. Oh my God, Luca, wait. This is totally not miniatures related, but I have to share. I published my book. My first book came out. And look. It came out and it's number 1 new release. Like, we just discovered this. Like, holy crap. Like, it's been out 2 days. I'm so, like, I'm so psyched. I'm just blown away. Holy crap. Like, I just was showing people, like, where to find it. And we went down here, and already it's, like, 24 in children's coming of age and 148. Those are really good. I bet you do, miniatures. Yeah, you ban yourself. You go and ban yourself right now, young man. Holy crap. Okay, but I'm totally overcome now. I'm like, I can't even think. Oh my God. We were supposed to be painting something. We were supposed to be finishing the face on this. Oh my God. Thank you. Yeah, I know. I haven't even told my Facebook yet. Like, well, I definitely have to drop my announcement now today. Definitely on the Patreon. I'll probably do Facebook tomorrow, but holy crap. Yeah, East of the Sun by A.E. Becker. I used my old married name. But yeah. So yeah. Oh, my heart is going thump, 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 thump. Damn. That's so good. Like, even if it only lasts a day, what that does is it gets people to see it. All I want is for people to see it. Thanks, Neurotech. Thanks. Yeah, I've been working on this book for 12 years. Like, that, seriously. I started it in 2011 for National Novel Writing Month, and I finished it in 2012. And then I spent, with life, life gets in the way. So it wasn't like I spent, 10, 12 solid years, like, all I was working on it. But I worked on it consistently over a decade, and now it's out. Oh, boy. Oof. Yeah. I should, Shadow Raven. You're right. Oh, boy. Oh, thank you, Quindy, for the link. Yeah. So it's a young adult fantasy based on Norwegian folklore. So it is kind of a it's based roughly on East of the Sun and West of the Moon, but it's set in a fantasy world of its own. So it's like our world, but it's came about in a slightly different way. So yeah. So all the stuff. But yeah, this is really cool. We're doing limited palette. So this is this mini is painted with just 4 colors, guys. I don't know if you guys in over in Luca's normal stream if you have seen this one before. But we're just using Rogue Shadow, which is kind of a very reddish brown liner. Lantern Yellow, which is an orange phase yellow. Clear Magenta, which of course is a single pigment clear. And then Pure White, which is also a single pigment. So yeah, it's... Yes, so we're doing the skin today. So I was just about to mix skin tones using the skin tone using these colors, which is actually pretty cool. So yeah, oof, wow. Okay, I'm still like, it's so really good. It's so really good. It feels so good. Guys, I worked so hard on this book. Like, I just want to write now. Like, I have to work on Patreon today, but all I want to do is, like, continue working on book 2, because book 2 just needs, like, it's like, yeah, I'm in the middle of the rewrite of the rough draft on book 2 right now. Whew, yeah, I know, right? I'll sit here and cry on stream all day. Sorry, guys. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, yeah. I got the screenshot. It's real now. Nobody can say it's not real. I've got the screenshot, darn it. Pics or it didn't happen, I've got your pics. All right, let's get back to painting before I start bawling on stream. I don't think I've ever had happy tears, but I have happy tears right now. Oh, Lordy, okay. Yeah, thank you everybody. And thank all of you. I know a lot of you on my normal stream, I know you bought the book and you're even reading it, and it's totally awesome. Yeah, whew. Like, even if it bombs from here on out, guys, I'm good. For a first novel from an unknown author, that's so good. It's so good. Feels great. All right. So when we are mixing skin tones from scratch, and if anybody has any book questions, feel free to ask, along with miniature painting questions in the chat. That's fine. I'll be fine. All right, so we're going to start with the yellow. When you're making skin tones, you almost always start with the yellow. Unless you are doing a really dark skin tone from scratch, in which case you often start with browns, brown reds. Sometimes you'll still do a bit of yellow, because often if you do just browns, unless it's a very yellowy brown, it'll pink out when you add just a touch of white. So if you want a really rich, resonant brown, you want to make sure you've got some yellow in there. Woof. Yes, thank you. Oh, good, Turgeon. Yeah. Awesome. I'll go check that Google account. That is my author-only Google account, so I will go and make sure that I can address any problems. Because, yeah, gotta fix the fixes. Fix the fixes before they know, they always say, like, make all your mistakes before anybody knows who you are. But you know what? There's gonna be, you guys know this, even in, like, professional New York edited books, there's always typos, right? There's always problems. So you just go in. The great thing about being independently published is you can just go in and fix them right away and just fix it within like 5 minutes. Well, maybe within half an hour. It takes Kindle a while to update, but yeah. Whew. Okay. So now I'm happy. All right. Let's pop this in. So let's start with the yellow, and we'll just start. I'll make a big batch. Why not? So I'll start with my standard 4 drops of anything. And I'm going through Lantern Yellow at an astonishing rate at this point. I hope I have more. Yes, that's true. Yes, Luca. 1 hour. Yeah, well, and when you've read it as many times as I've read this book over 100 times at this point, because I've always, between all the editing on every chapter, and then the overall edits, and then the edits after my professional editor got back to me, and and then the beta reader edits, because every edit for me was an opportunity to go back over the book and make sure that I wasn't missing anything. So if you live that long, miniature's done. Oh no, that's good. Actually, text-to-speech is great, because you're getting it in a different format than I did, because I didn't listen to it. I read some sections out loud, but my inner brain is pretty good at rhythm, so it's like, but yeah, that's great. So you can catch stuff that I didn't then. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. You're my favorites. Wait, huge finger hearts. Huge. Wait, we need to get more huge finger hearts. Okay, now we'll stop being crooked and we'll stop being silly. Okay, we're never going to stop being silly. I'm sorry. But yes, all right. So I'm going to put these in separate wells, just so that I can control the amount more. Which is the same thing you would do on a wet palette, right? You put all your colors in different spots and then you'd mix them together. I need very little liner, but I might need actual liner for touch-up. So I'm going to squeeze out a fair amount. But yeah. So how good are the text-to-speech stuffs now? Like, pretty decent? I haven't tried to actually have a text-to-speech read my... And what program are you using to do that? I got sick of his own voice. Yeah, how are you doing that? Because I'm a total noob at that. I have no idea. All right, so we're going to mix this together. Hold on. I have to blow my nose because I'm a silly crying on stream person. Not bad, not perfect. Yeah. Honestly, if the book does well, like if it continues to do well, I'm going to consider recording it myself. Because I've been reading books to my little brother for ages, right? When he was little and I was little, I would read him whatever book I was reading. And also I talk all day. And I have a lot of theater training in high school and college. So I think I could do it. I think I could. I just need to make sure that I've got a really good sound studio. Like I'm going to look at local recording studio things time and see how much it is. Raspberry and toffee candy. Yeah. But yeah, that was always my thing. It's like I just didn't want to spend money, like a couple grand, getting an audiobook done if the book was going to come out and just kind of fall flat, right? But if the book does well, if it continues to catch eyes and people like it, then I'm all for it. Yeah, I know you're lucky you have a voice actor in your friend group. I actually also have a couple of voice actors in my friend group, but it's Derek Schubert and it's Daryl from work, and I need a young female voice because two of my main characters are girls. Or at least I need a female voice, somebody who can do younger. Yeah, Chibi, Amy's husband, is also a writer. Ah, realize, yeah, and text-to-speech to communicate. Yep. Okay, I see. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's coming along. I know that stuff is coming along. Alrighty, I'm going to use my mixing brush, and I'm going to get real close here. Just a little bit. Like, you can see that the tip of my brush just has a little bit of magenta on it. And even that may be too much. I would probably be better off actually using a smaller brush, but we'll try with this one. So, the magenta is really going to impact the yellow, because yellows are some of the weakest pigments as far as dispersion goes. Okay, but that's not bad. All right, so it didn't come off as that much. That's good. So we've got a shift. Let's do just a little. I'm just doing these tiny, you can see how little it is. Tiny bits, because you can push this too far so quickly. So this would give us a very yellow skin tone. If we went and added white in our muter right now, we'd have a very Asian skin tone. Little bit more red. There we go. I like that a little bit better. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to add a little bit of my muting agent, which is the Rogue Shadow, which has also got some red in it, remember? So we're adding a little bit much. Part of the Kindle app on your Fire tablet. Oh, interesting. Fire has a female voice. David's got a Fire. Maybe I'll try it on his. Helps enough for readbacks. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so just a tiny bit. I'm even going to dab that off, so I've got an even tinier bit, because this is, see how much that hits it? Okay, so I'm going to back out, dab a bunch of it off, probably rinse my brush, and just mix that in. Yeah, I'm mixing skin tones from scratch, Wasser. So I've got my her face kind of blocked in, but I'm only using 4 colors on this mini, so I'm mixing the skin tone. And I'm going very, very slowly with my liner, which is my muting color, because I know it can overpower this and turn it green really quickly. So, because black and yellow equals green, and we have very little red in here. So I'm going to add a little bit of white now. Yeah, that's really still very yellow, so let's go a little stronger. Let's pick in that red and pop it in there. That's pretty good. And then pop a little bit more of a dark. You want to keep mixing until you start to see skin tone. Now I'm going to add more white. Yeah, it's still very golden, very golden. So more red and more, but it's getting there. It's getting there. And this is just pretty much how I mix skin tones, is I'll just kind of inch up to it. With this, I'm trying to keep it fairly dark because I want a good shadow I want to start dark and work light with my skin tone. Okay, so there we go. Now we're really have popped that liner and you see how much of a difference it makes, right? Mutes it out. Normally also I would use like a teal or a blue for the muting color in skin tone, or a green. But here we don't have that. We don't have that luxury, right? Because we've got no blue in our palette. So that's actually looking good. Let's get a little bit more red in there. If you start slow like I did with just tiny bits, then you get more confident as you go. You're like, oh, okay, I can toss a little bit more into this. And toss a little bit more white in. Now we're starting to see a skin tone. Now that's starting to look like a skin tone. It's still a pretty golden skin tone. So if I want to pick this up, I would grab more magenta and pick it in. The starting paints are Lantern Yellow from Bones, which is essentially a warm yellow. It's equivalent to Chimera Warm Yellow in the Chimera colors. Clear Magenta, which is a clear bright, so it's a single pigment paint. Again, equivalent to magenta in the Chimera colors. And then Pure White, which of course is a pure titanium white. Same thing, equal to the white. And then my muting color, because I wanted to be able to do real darks, and I wanted to be able to do that NMM, Rogue Shadow is what I used. It's a liner color, but it's a lot like brown liner, but it's stronger. It has a little bit better coverage, and it's definitely more reddish. It's got more of a reddish shift to it. It's got some red pigment. Yeah, I didn't actually enable DRM. I don't like it. I don't think it does. It really doesn't keep your book out of the hands of people who want to scrape it. Like, it can be broken so easily. I would rather have them be able to read it on a different device if they want to. But yeah, so there you go, Wasser. That's what I'm using. I like limited palette painting an awful lot. I really, I think it's fun. And this was a fun challenge because I had to get like a purpley color without doing blue, right? So of course, black and red pigment together tend to make a purple tone. So the magenta being a blue shade red, of course, helped with that. So I was able to get kind of a purplish color through doing that sideways. And I still wanted to do NMM, so I needed to be able to mute that. And the leather's all just mixed from those colors too, even though you got that brown there. It's all that. So I'm gonna put a little bit more magenta in here. Oh, similar to Darkness from the Chimera Kickstarter colors. Okay. I don't have those yet. I've got my eyes set on getting a few more Chimera colors as soon as I can free up budget. All right, so we're gonna pop this in. And I'm gonna grab some water now because this is starting to dry out pretty quick. So just a little bit. You went upside down? Everything has gone upside down, Shadow Raven? Yeah, all right. I think I'm good there, actually. I think I want just a little bit more brown. A little bit more. Trying to mute it out just a little bit more. You're limited on your muting abilities here because you don't have a complementary color, but this will be an okay start, I think. So we'll start there. The thing is, I need to mute it and make it different enough that it will be an okay, it'll be different enough from the cowl and everything. So I'm still tuning. There, that's maybe a little bit better. And I'm just adding little tiny bits of liner and magenta now. Tiny bit more white. Adding white will really make the various pigments show up. You'll see if it's going to go more pink, for example. All right, we're gonna run with this, and we're just going to add white for our highlights. My side is not giving me any errors right now, Shadow Raven, so I don't know about the screen issue. Nobody else went upside down, so it's Shadow Raven being upside down. Is that it? Oh, the other thing I'm going to do is add 1 drop of water to each of these other paints to make sure they stay wet. So mix those up, and then we can get to putting this on and putting in a little bit of some more magenta hues for the appropriate parts of the face. And then we'll pop in some highlights, and we'll rock it. Shadow Raven has turned into Shadow Bat. Well, he was on those antibiotics for a while. So maybe his brain is a little off center today. Yes, I was gonna say. It's okay, Shadow Raven. Just stick with us, okay? Just stay with us. Don't go off as winging off into an alternate reality. It might be even worse than the one we have. Oh dear. All right. Yes, at least we're not getting the issues. I tell you, it was actually probably good that I wasn't streaming yesterday. Google lost power briefly because, of course, they, being in an evil empire, they have massive generators. And David did not believe me. Like, when I told him this ages ago, I'm like, you're never going to lose power. You're just not going to lose power, Google. He's like, oh, we could lose power. I'm like, no, you're Google. They've invested infrastructure down under your building or somewhere. You've got monster generators that are going to kick on when your power goes out. I bet you anything. And so his power went out yesterday. And he's like, well, oh, no, it's dark. Oh, all we have is a few lights on. Like, there are a couple of lights came on. I'm like, yeah, that's your emergency lighting. And then 5 minutes later, he's like, yeah, the power's back on. Nobody else was back on, but he was. Hello, Twistedoma. Oh, yeah, yesterday. Yesterday was ugly. Like, and I like rain. And, of course, I felt terrible, so it was double bad. Like, I can weather a bad day as long as I feel okay. So I'm going to reapply my new dark base coat over this light base coat so that I have somewhere to go. Because if I started trying to do this pale skin tone on her, it would just bleach out. Like, you wouldn't actually see. There isn't enough room for shadows. I like to start dark and work up. So I'm putting on more of a tan skin. Twisted Oma, you missed my book news. We went to the thing. We went to Amazon briefly to show people what my book looked like so they could search it. And it turned out that it hit a #1 bestseller overnight. I don't know how it did, but it did. In children's coming-of-age fantasy ebooks, I think. Or maybe it was children coming-of-age regular books. I'll have to relook. But yeah, so that's really cool. Like, it's dropping now, but it hit it. It hit it. It hit it. Yeah. I screenshotted it, so it's real. I screenshotted it. I didn't even see it at first, Crowley. I didn't even see it. I think it was Chibi that saw it. It was Chibi or Shadow or somebody. You know, the people. All you people were awesome. Here, I'll show you. I have it. It's here. It's here. #1 new release. #1 new release. And then it's not even in new releases. It's still 24. It's on the first page. Yeah, #1 new release. Yeah, but not new releases. In the standard list, it's still on page 1. 24. So it's top 100. Like, people go out and scheme and like the tip. If you guys ever go searching for how can I become a bestseller in a category on Amazon, you'll find so much crap on the internet, like trying to game the system or, you know, trying to tell people, oh, well, you have to do this and this and this and this. So I'm just like kind of tickled. Let's just say that. Oh, good, Twisted Oma. Yay. Yeah. The cover is really good. The lady I had do it she's fantastic. Okay, so this looks very orangey right now, but it's still an acceptable skin tone, especially for a shadow. I am going to grab a little bit. I got to get this is a really hard face to paint. You guys, I'm sure many of you have tried to paint faces inside hoods before and have run into this. What I think I'm going to do is actually pick up a little bit of my base and pop it over here and put more dark in it to make a shadow color. There, so that's good. So that's what would have happened if we would have gone too far in the other way. We would have lost a lot of vibrancy in our skin tone and ended up with a very muted color. So instead, I want to keep it more vibrant because this is a very bright color scheme. Yeah, a great cover and a good book, right? And that's just it, Chibi. I just remember though when I was like writing it, and it's just like people are like, "This is how you can game the system," and I'm just like, "How about no? How about that sounds like a lot of work? It might not work anyway." Yeah, painting faces and hoods is hard. So pretty much I've got my base coat down, and I'm just gonna grab that shadow color. I want to get that around the edge of the face here, and maybe even with a little bit more liner. So I'm just trying to get this use a brush with a really good tip. Make sure your paint is thinner. Just make sure you've got that solid shadow around the face. I'm going to pick up a little bit. I'm going to go kind of back and forth between my skin color. Now grab a little bit of that shadow color up top. And paint a little bit on the face itself, actually, to knock that down a little bit. So I am painting a little bit of that real thin shadow color over the face. It'll darken it down, and it'll give us somewhere to go from, somewhere to start from. It's so hard because, like, if you want to shade, like, usually I'll shade, like, under the brow ridge, but the brow ridge is almost buried. And we're not going to be able to paint one of these eyes at all. We're going to have to figure out, I probably will try to hit just the white on the inside of this eye to make it look like she's looking that way. Because with this kind of face, like, you don't even have a whole eye. You're not going to be able to do a full eye treatment on it. So it's best, like, it's good because she's kind of looking off in this direction anyway. So we'll just make that one eye shift that way, and that'll be enough. Yes, I am totally, yes, I'm resisting. I'm resisting the urge to twirl in my chair. You're right. Yes. Yeah, good idea, Penrick. I just touched base with her yesterday to ask about a hardcover. To ask about dust jacket design. Yes, also pat you guys on the back for sure. Oh, good. Good. Yeah, I mean, he might not have any say in, like, ordering at the library, but if the book does well, like, you could say, hey, remember that book I told you about? No, it's like a best-selling title on Amazon. You should order it. You should look at it. I don't know. And this is true of all creatives, I think, or almost all creatives. There are always the exceptions that make us all look bad. Maybe Luca's one of them. I don't know. He just makes us look good, actually. Luca. Oh, all right. I'll stop dissing Luca. Anyway, but in general, and this is for you mini painters too, who are thinking you might turn this into a side gig sometime or do commissions. It's so hard to price yourself and to promote yourself, right? It's so difficult. Every one of us has this problem of, like, underpricing ourselves and feeling like you can't promote, right? So, like, yeah, I know. I totally did. I totally burned Luca there. But yeah, so it's really hard. Yeah, I definitely got her very ruddy on the skin tone now, but that's just the base coat. It's going to come up. So, yeah, it's very, very tan right now. But I actually want to grab some of my dark and try to see if I can shade under the brow ridges. It's just so hard because it's so little and you've got so little room. So I want that shadow. Now it just looks like she's frowning. So I'm going to have to mess with it. But yeah, this is a hard face to do. There's a reason I didn't paint this face first. I mean, often I'll do skin tones first on a model. On this one, it was the last thing. I'm just trying to put in some shadows. I want the underside of her nose to be darker. So that's getting very, very rough. But that's okay. That's okay. We've got time. Well, yeah. But actually, it's not true that you're the best promoter for yourself on books. They've done studies on this. And when people go to buy a book, which is an investment, right? It's an investment of money and time. And you have to give your brain away for a few hours. But they actually turn to family and friends who they trust, who their opinions they trust, right, on products. So actually, you as the author aren't the best person to promote your book. Fans who read your book and are passionate about it, who really love it, those are the best people to promote your book as an author. But you as the author, you do have to do some stuff, right? And as a mini painter, if you want to get your name out there and you want to, like, have people see your Patreon or your business or your miniatures or your whatever, yeah, you do have to actually put yourself out there. And that's so hard for us, especially when we're introverts. When we are introverts, as many of us mini painters are, I know I'm shout out to all you introverts. That's almost my entire chat. But it means we don't like the spotlight necessarily, right? We don't like to put ourselves out there. We don't like to say, look at this cool thing I did. Right? It just feels uncomfortable. It makes us squirmy. And so it is hard. It is hard. It's really hard. But yes, I mean, you are right, Twisted Oma, that if you don't do anything, then nobody's going to know about you, right? And then nobody's going to see it. Even if you could have the best book in the world or the best mini in the world, and if nobody sees it, it's just kind of drops into the thing. Drops into the void. You compliments, right, Grindy, right? See, but the cool thing is, and because I've done commissions for so many years, when you start doing this, it's easy to treat each project like your baby. Like, oh my gosh, this is my first competition miniature. Oh my gosh. And if somebody doesn't like it, it feels like somebody insulted me, right? I'm past that. I'm so past that at this point. If somebody doesn't like my stuff, I'm like, it's okay. It's not for everybody, right? I can do that. And that makes it easier because it's like the compliment. I can accept a compliment on my book or my mini so much easier than I can accept a compliment on me, right? But yeah, I'm there, Quindy. I'm there. All right, so let's pick up a highlight and try to make this face a little bit. Well, I'm gonna actually, you know what? I'm gonna do a little bit of another coat. I'm gonna try to do. I might do a glaze too. This is gonna be one of those faces where I think I'm gonna have to glaze at the end. But we're getting a solid. We want a solid base coat because God knows we don't want to touch up anything on this little devil. We want to get it done and be done. Yeah, Mr. Nobody. Yeah, that's the thing. It's hard to get over that fear, right? To show anybody, to put it out there. Like, this is a scary thing too for my book to go out, just because like now if it's not good, I'm going to hear about it, right? So I'm going to get honest opinions from people who have nothing to do with me, who don't know me at all, right? Are going to be writing reviews for my book. And so honestly, there are various schools of thoughts on this, on whether you should read your reviews. Or whether you should ask for reviews on some cases, like miniatures. In general, an honest review can make you better, right? If you can take it and you can, take it to heart and you can implement that in your painting or your writing or in whatever creative pursuit you're in. But living on your reviews, like just going there and reading all your reviews, including the negative ones, can have the opposite effect. It can make you never want to pick up a paintbrush or anything ever again. So if you post on like Cool Mini and you get some negative comments, like that can just kill you. Like, so most of the time, I hate to say this, but most of the time my reaction is to go with what my high school gym teacher said, which is it's not any of your business what anybody else says about you. You'll be a happier person if you just don't pay attention to what other people are saying about you. And I kind of believe that's true. Yeah. That's that. Yeah. That's a whole different keg of worms, right, Mr. Nobody? Well, you know what? Just paint for you then. Paint because you love it. Paint because, you get enjoyment out of learning, or you get enjoyment out of executing, or you get enjoyment out of just finishing stuff just because, or exercising your creative side. Like, it's all cool. You don't have to show it to anybody. Nobody cares. In this hobby, man, there are many of us, myself included at this time, who really aren't making much progress on their personal projects. And we just talk miniatures, but we don't have anything to show for it. So yeah, it's not like you're not welcome in the hobby. You're welcome in the hobby. It's all good. Hi, Wise Carrot. I love your name. Well, right, but that's what being online is nice about, right? Is that it's just our words at that point. It's just our words. We are our words. It lets us relax a little bit. All right, so my highlight color there and there. So notice how close this is. Like, this is very close to rosy skin, right? It's maybe a little bit more golden, but it's definitely this. You could maybe say, oh, I don't know if that's a skin color, but when you add white to it, you've got a skin color now. So yeah, it is hard. It is hard not to take criticism personally. And it took practice for me. Like, I had to kind of just gird myself up and just go, okay. But I think being in two creative fields, the writing and the painting, has actually helped me. I'm going to put a stripe down the middle of the nose there first, guys. We start with the nose. At least when we can't see a forehead, we start with the nose. But it's helped me just kind of like learn to take it, right? I can take criticism now because part of me has internalized the fact that, you know what, it's not me, it's the thing. And also, you gotta like really drum it into your brain. Not everybody will like my thing. Even if my thing is really good, there will still be people who really hate X or Y about it. It's just the way it is. And so if you can get your head around that. You know, Bobby sculpted pretty deep under eyelids on this model. I wonder if she's meant to be older. She kind of does have a very severe face. But yeah, I mean, the best thing you can do is just when you do a creative project is to just just to make sure you love it. You love it. That's the purpose of it, is for you to be happy with what you've done. Then you can kind of like say, you know, all right, if you don't like it, I'm sorry you don't like it. I love it. And that's a thing you'll run into all the time when you talk to other painters. You'll be like, oh, I don't know about the orange on that. And then the painter will say something like, oh, I love the orange, right? And that's a good response, you know? It just, everybody is different. I'm going to put some magenta here. Just touches, and I'm going to kind of blend over it with my skin tone. But yeah, it's going to be hard to make this face look... Yeah, it's got really high cheekbones, and they're also... He gave the under eyelid. You know how the sculptors tend to sculpt the under eyelid? These are really pronounced on this side especially, and that usually is a sign of an older face. But we'll see. This is just our first highlight, so we're going to try to drop down a highlight from there to the upper lip. And this is going to be pretty subtle to start with, but you can see the face start to come out. Oh, well. You just kind of look at that guy and say, what have you painted lately? Some people are just trolls, you know it. Oh, David texted me back. You know, it's funny. I'm going to send in my second picture. I'm going to lose my brain here. Hold on. And just drop that. Get that. Okay, there we go. What's interesting is I never applied for any of these categories. It's just categories that Amazon threw me into because they thought my book fit it. Yes, thank you, Chibi. Have fun at your bowling. Man, bowling is one of those things I always wanted to love, and I'm just so bad at it. Yes, that is the coolest thing. That's what was awesome about ReaperCon too, is that you meet up with other painters and they're all like, I loved this part, I loved that part. And that's a good way to give critiques, by the way, is to, like, when you look at the model, even if there's a part of it you don't like, see if there's a part of it you do like, and, you know, go, I really like this part. This part, it's not for me. You know, maybe you could go blah, you know, or you ask people, do you want feedback? Like, do you want me to say what I think, you know, you could improve on? And if people are like, yeah, sure, then go ahead. Some people don't want to hear that stuff. They just really want to show you their mini and have you go, ooh, ah, and that's okay. Like, that's why some people paint. It's all good. So then you should do that. But if you can see a place that they can improve, you can always ask, hey, do you want feedback? You know, that kind of thing. Always ask if it's okay. Yeah, get a good score. Yeah, I used to bowl when I was a kid, and it was always one of the things I liked, and my mom was pretty good at it. She used to be in a bowling league, and I can't get over a score of 140 to save my soul. So, and often I'll bowl under 100 if I'm having a really bad day. So I'm really bad, really, really bad. I was much better at pool. Like, I only started playing pool when I was we had a pool table in the basement when I was a kid, but I started playing with an eye toward getting better in college, and I really like playing pool, and I'm better at that. But the bowling is just the sport that I will be resigned to really enjoying, but being terrible at. Yeah, right. Exactly, Kodiak. Exactly. Yeah. I'm usually like somewhere between 110 and 125-ish, at least when I was doing it. I haven't done it for so long, I'd probably suck it up now. But I always liked it. I always enjoyed the sport, right? So I'm trying to get that upper lip, the nose. And getting those cheekbones is really hard because they're sunk up against that. But you can see how the face is starting to come out a little bit more. 140 is like my record, really, I think. I think that's the highest score I ever got. And that was when I was bowling regularly, right? All right, I'm going to try to get just a little bit of paint on my brush. So I'm going to do an experiment. And I'm going to refresh this. No, okay, so it hasn't flipped. The Kindle store updates hourly, so we may see my book drop down after the next hour, after the next flip. So it's like, that's just it. It's like a book can be a #1 bestseller for like an hour and then never be a #1 bestseller again, but at least you get that bestseller tag. Yeah, bowling class in college. Yeah, well, you know, sometimes it's like not. Sometimes we go into a sport and we're like, I want to be good at this, you know, but we're just not. And we wouldn't be without a ton of work, right? Like almost anybody could get decent at something if they put in a lot of work. But you have to question then if it's really like, is it fun, right? Yeah. Right. Yeah, I can't do curveballs either. If I do a curve, it's totally unintentional and usually leads to mayhem. Man, I'm gonna be flying high on the Kindle store stuff for the rest of the day. I swear. Oh, lag spike. Oh no. Yes, refresh. Sorry, guys. You had to do sports credits. I see. Yeah, I didn't. I always I liked sports, but I was not good enough at them to, like, my fine motor is my best hand-eye coordination. Although I did try tennis. My mom is really into watching professional tennis lately. And I did try tennis, like, later in life, like, after college, and I really liked it, and I wasn't bad at it off the bat. I was like, huh, it's a shame I didn't figure this out sooner, but we never did tennis in my high school. My grade school, my high school didn't have any tennis courts at all, so I never got exposed to the sport. I only did, like, badminton was the best we did, right? And not really, we hardly had a net for that. So, because I went to small country high schools, right? They didn't have all the facilities. And so it's kind of a shame because if I had tried tennis earlier, I might have put a lot of time into it. Like, I really enjoyed it and was not bad at all. My boyfriend at the time was teaching me, and he was very surprised when I actually hit the ball back the first time and actually did a decent volley. Archery was fun. I liked archery. We did archery. Didn't have fencing. Didn't have, yeah. Marksmanship. Wow, Hendrik. My dad won marksmanship awards when he was in the Navy. They had a competition on the aircraft carrier he was stationed on. Yeah, launching projectiles. Finger blorfs, I know. That's funny, Twisted Oma. All right, it's time for our next highlight, I think. These cheeks are just going to be problematic. All right, we're gonna try it. It's getting there, and notice I'm keeping the top half of the face shaded, and that's on purpose because when you really put the mini upright, you can see how the light drops right over the eyes. So, cool. Alrighty, let's mix another highlight to go up our next level. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna drop some white into it. I'm probably just honestly normally I would mix it in a new well, but since I still have some of my base color here that I can make into this, I think I'm just gonna do it that way. Tennis a bit of high school, yeah. Cannot run and swing a racket. Well, that's fair. All right, so I'm gonna just drop my white right into this mixture instead of mixing a new puddle, because I can always do a wet blend if I need to get back to this. Pop our next highlight on there. On a face like this too, you don't need to really blend a lot. Like, this face is so tiny. Can't even walk and chew gum. Funny. right. And I also have a blurf there where I've got a dark line on the inside of the hood. But I'm not going to touch anything up until I'm done with this face. Just taking my liner now and just like bringing in those eyes, the dark in those eyes real quick. Okay. Yep. Sorry. We try to keep it clean here. Luca's our exception, I guess. But yeah, we try to keep it clean on the stream. My young nephew watches every once in a while, so I always keep in mind the kids can be watching this. I'm sure kids could be watching Luca too, which should scare me. Yes, you're our exception. You're our exception, Mini Tristan. All right, I'm gonna grab a little bit of magenta and do a little bit of lip color on her. Yeah, yep. Yeah. We let you guys get away with everything, don't we? Almost. It's okay, Luca. You and I can be diametrically opposed on that channel. People are like, Anne is so boring. Let's go watch Luca. And then people are like, oh my god, Luca, my brain is fried. Let's go watch Anne. Or I will never unsee that image again. Let's go watch Anne. Hey, Luca's more popular than I am, so I can't say anything against it, really. People be like, oh, well, he's Italian. Yep. Yeah, the accent lets you get away with it. Yeah, see, we're just two sides. We're on opposite sides of streaming. All right, let's pop this. This is so hard. This mini is so little, and everything is so compressed in that hood. So I'm mixing my liner into my magenta. I want to get a little shadow on the underside of this lip. And even though that shadow tends to be, like, it's a little, you can kind of see it here. It's a little bow tie shaped shadow underneath your lip, right before your chin. No idea what you did. Yeah, thanks there. Thanks, Luca. Thanks. I thought it was egg white they used instead of yolk, though. Egg white is a better binder because it's the protein side of it. But then again, I guess oils are used, and those are fats. So, yeah, I don't know. There you go. Trust me to just take your off-color comment and talk seriously about it. I know I ruin everything. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Kariniko. I'm sorry you had to read that. But that is me. I take the off-color joke, I serve it back on color, and like I'm the boring. I am the boring. Or maybe it's just my special ability of dragging people back on topic, which is definitely one of my superpowers, like kicking and screaming. So I'll take your off-color comment quite deadpan, and then I'll actually have a serious response to it. Yeah, like here, like so little room, guys, so little room. Just get your highlight in, and as long as you can start to see the face come out, you're okay. I'm just like trying to hit like basic highlights. What really happens here, though, is that what you're seeing is that all of these areas are so little that I need to really up my highlight to have anything show up at all. So her face features are actually showing up better than they did, but I'm going to pop this. I'm going to mix a very, very light version of this skin tone now. Very, very light. That. Right here. The nice thing is the more white you add to a color, the higher coverage you get. So you can thin it and still be real precise with it. So we're going to pop that. It looks like about a 2-to-1. Meanwhile, Quindy is readying her Fist of Doom for miniature stand off in the corner. Kuriko. I don't know if there is a best time to wander into Luca's streams. Oh my gosh. That's a good question. It's always the worst time there. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. All right, so now we're going to just try to get, like, we're going to try to hit what we just did. We're going to try to hit it with this really light color. The best worst time. Now we're Dickensing. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the best of streams. It was the worst of streams. It was Miniatures Den. Oh, boy. It's a good day. It's a good day, guys. Hopefully I have a good walk with Kiki after this. Even if we have to, like, try to avoid all the mushrooms. Little touches of light to just bring out details. I need to do something about that cheek. It's really, really dark. Part of that is the sculpt, and part of that is the. There, it's better. Part of it is just that shadow of that hood again. You just do the best you can. Don't, like, get too frustrated. Some models are just really hard to paint. This one is one of them. That's too bright. Kept the shadow on the side of the nose there. Just bringing up areas. We got everything in shadow up here. I'm going to try to put a small highlight up there, even though it's under the hood, just to define the top of that brow. And I'm going to shade it down a little bit again with a glaze. That's a little better. All right. Still a little bit too magenta over there. I went a little bit too hard on that. Oh, you want coffee but have no coffee cup. But do you have a teacup? It can serve. All right. Oof. Squashed little face, but you know what? She's okay. All right, now we need to get white, and we need to put a dot really just in the corner of the eye to make her looking off to the side. We only have, this eyeball's almost completely gone, and this eyeball, we have enough room to have her looking off to the side. So we're going to just do that. So we'll take our white, and we're going to add just a little bit of our rogue liner to it, because you don't usually, I mean, this is the exception. This eye I might be able to do a pure white dot on. But most of the time you don't want to do pure white for an eye, because it's just going to look really garish and weird, because our eyes are not pure white, our eye whites. So I might need more white. It's working. It's at least there. It's at least there. It's the best I think I'm going to be able to get with this one. It's just with that hood on both sides and both eyes hidden, like partially hidden, it's like, ugh. Tiny teacups. Adorbs. I'm going to mix this right in here so that it gets a little bit of that previous gray color to it. Just to make it into a little bit of an off-white. I'll mix a little bit of my skin tone into it too if I want to. Just to make it a little yellower. There we go. It's an off-white now. I like to mix in a bit of walnut. It grays out. If you look at your eyes, really, I mean, it's gray, but when you get toward the center, it gets a little yellowish. So that's often what I'll do is I'll use something like weathered stone plus white, or I'll use some walnut or brown liner mixed in, and then I'll add a little bit of yellow, but you don't want it to go greenish. So it's like, if I'm doing a bust eyeball, then I start with that gray color. And as I highlight it toward the middle, I go up more toward like a linen white or bleached linen color. So, oh, that's true. You could use a cereal bowl. They're Roger with the constructive suggestion. But yeah, you always want that gray. Like if you really look at your eyes, there's definitely a grayish yellow. So, and it's definitely not bright white. But you want it really, with miniatures, you usually want it more on the white side than on the gray side. With busts, you definitely start gray. I don't think I've got anybody here to show you. Oh, a little bit too much. A little bit, the eyelid is just like getting in the way. So I'm going to turn it. Now it's a bit big, so I'm going to go in and use liner to trim it. Let me grab Rogue Shadow. Where are you? Where did I put you? You hid. Black Indigo is not Rogue Shadow. Oh, there it is. So I'm going to trim up that eye then. I'm going to mix up. I need one more drop in my. I think I thinned down my Rogue Shadow a little bit too much. So now I can line around that eye where the white went really big. You only need one clear eye to give a bit of expression if you're doing the sideways look. So she definitely looks arched. She definitely looks like, what are you doing, young man? Over there. In the... This is the mini who's giving Luca the accusing look. Yeah. Although she almost has a slight smile on, so maybe she's also amused. Let's get this eyelid back in there. Eyelid is back in. The white is minimized, but it's still there. I need to trim up this hood. So what I'm going to do is actually take a little bit of my thinned white and go over that dark line that I accidentally got in there. Just paint white over it. It's the fastest way to wipe that out. Yes, exactly, Quindy. That's the expression on her face, really. It's like, she really wants to be disapproving, but she also looks like she might smile in the next moment. Alrighty. And I still want to correct that eyebrow a little bit. So we'll get our pink down here. Magenta. A little bit of yellow on the outside edge. A little bit of white in that yellow. Trying to kind of like get that pink with a bit of yellow toward the outside. Oh, I went too yellow, so I'm going to go and fix that. Truly is giving you that school teacher look. Get a little bit more rose in there. And a little bit more white on the outside edge. Take that yellow down. Yeah, I think that works. It's as good as I'm going to get it. Yeah, eyes just take practice. Like, eyes, you're just going to... Just got to practice until you... Fake it until you make it. It really is just practice. I'm going to turn her around a bit. I want to get that brow ridge just a little bit more defined up there. That works. Alrighty, what else do I need to correct here? Is there anything else? I could work a little bit on the back here. A little bit more highlights. Yes. All right. Let me grab, I'm keeping my yellow. Actually, I'm going to add a little white to that. I want to do a little bit of touch up back here on the cape. Just because it was a very fast cape. And I feel like it could use a little tuning. And that means I'm going to need more white. I was looking at entering my book in a contest that Publishers Weekly puts on that allows indie writers. There's an entry fee, but it might be fun. They do a medal award, bronze, silver, gold, and they have prizes, although I don't expect to win one. The funny thing is that one of their big things that they tout as an advantage for the competition is that you get traditional publishers looking at your work, and I'm like, well, that isn't what I want. I want to just be me. I don't want a traditional publishing deal anymore. I've outgrown that idea. But I might do it anyway. Who knows? Just for funsies. Just for funsies. They don't do the awards until like late summer, early fall, I think. By then, book 2 will almost be out. Yeah, I'm thinking I might just go for it. It's Book Life, I think. Is Publishers Weekly runs this Book Life site that they do like reviews and stuff, and they host a competition. And there are lots of different categories. So at worst, I could maybe score really well in like children's coming of age fantasy, because you never know. Oh, I need to send my mom that text. Oh, she'll be over the moon for me. Especially because the book is like dedicated to her. So yeah, we'll see how this goes, guys. I'll have to look at my my sales numbers and my everythings. I'm gonna actually add a little bit of white to my magenta as well, so it's not quite as strong heading into shading back here. Okay. And I actually, so when you use a well palette, by the way, if you're frustrated about cleanup with well palettes, once you're done with a color and you know you're going to be like done with it, get a bunch of water and just kind of go around the remaining paint. And what that does is it keeps the side of the palette wet, loosens up the paint that's already dried on, and it keeps your paint center from drying there. So it makes it a lot easier to clean up. I clean up every day after I stream, but even just doing that, if I'm not going to use that color anymore then I'm going to just do that. And it's going to make my cleanup a lot easier. So keep that tip in mind. All right, let's get some of this going on. So there's just some places here that could use a little bit more highlight with a lighter yellow, because we only just did our glaze. So in our remaining minutes, we'll just pick up some of these places where the yellow should be a little brighter. But yeah, super, super exciting times. That's like, as far as I'm concerned, I've already done better than I anticipated doing with the first book. So I'm like super happy. Now I can just go work on the second book. Get that second book done. It'd be nice if I could get it done a little early. Then I could put up a pre-order. This is all just, we're all in unknown territory here now, because I've done it once now, so the second book should go faster. But I don't know. I don't have a realistic expectation for that, because I have a sample size of 1. All right, so I just got some rub off here, so I'm going to paint some white over the top of that. But yeah, thank you all for your help in getting the word out about the book. I really, really appreciate it, more than I can say. You've made my day. You may have made my week, my month, or even my year. Oh, today is David's birthday, by the way. I didn't get a very good present for him this time. He's going to laugh when he gets his present. It's very useful, but it's very tiny. Because he was just complaining that he has too many models a little while ago, so I didn't actually buy him anything. That is because he's been saying he has too many models, he hasn't really been buying anything or looking at anything. So I haven't had any fuel for keeping an eye on like minis he might want. So I bought him a nice set of metal rulers because he's always stealing mine. Same thing as the side cutters I got him for Christmas, right? But he uses rulers for his like basing stuff a lot, and so he always is stealing my rulers. So I got him a nice set, so he can't steal them anymore. All of my David presents lately are in self-defense. Oh, yeah, there we go. There, good. So I wanted to get these little folds lit up a little bit more. So just bringing the highlights down just a little bit more over the shoulder here and then having them fade in is a good idea. Yeah, I mean, it's not like they were expensive and they're tiny because there's like, I got him a little 6-inch one and a 1-foot one, but they're nice. They're good quality metal and they've got centimeters and millimeters in addition to the inches, and so they're utility present. They're utility present. So he'll actually use them. That's the thing, right? So a little bit more yellow, light yellow on top of the head here. Oh, no, Wasser, this was a fun thing. I actually just did a Patreon thing on it. My $2 Patreon thing this month was on this. It's underpainted with pink. So it's underpainted with the magenta and white. Although I think I cut corners on that one and I used Runic Glow and white. So Runic Glow is really just magenta with white in it anyway. So this is pink underpainting under the yellow with white. No, I'm not going to engage. The urge to banter with Luca is strong. But I had that way lies danger. It's a trap. It's a trap. Oh, no banter allowed. Must not encourage the Italian. But anyway, so yeah, this was entirely painted with just pink and white. And then, okay, so let's grab this guy. So the first thing we did, let's grab our magenta. Where is it? Did I already put it back? It escaped. It escaped. Oh, it's right here. All right, so what we did, let's see if I can speed paint this. So underpainting means you paint something one way and then you put more colors over the top of it that are totally different. Usually when you talk about underpainting Wasser, it's like the Zenith thing or sketch style, where you paint underneath in black and white, and then you put colors over the top, and the black and white underpainting helps the paint job. So here, I was doing... shouldn't have used yellow. No, we're not using yellow. We're using pink and white. That was automatic. I was like, eek. So I did an underpaint. Lots of paint. Like this. This is something you'll find online, Wasser. Several people show how to do this in YouTube videos. It's kind of a popular thing. It makes it easy to highlight yellow, to highlight and shade yellow, which is normally a difficult color to highlight and shade for a lot of people. So let me just do a real simple, not very good one on here. And then... I'm going to darken down that. And the darker your pink goes, the more orange you're going to get. And the closer you go to white, the more yellow you're going to have. Yes. I like wet blending, darn it, and I cannot lie. It's fast, what can I say? Super fast. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so you've got that. Then you blow on it really fast to make it dry. Actually, you let it dry and you get out your yellow. I used white with... I use Candlelight, which is lantern plus white. We have a lot of shortcut colors in the Reaper line, so if you don't want to mix everything, you can just reach for the next thing up. So I grabbed Candlelight Yellow, and it clogged on me, because that's what it wanted to do. Yes, Candlelight Yellow is a wonderful color on its own, but it's definitely clogged up today, so... Let us boom, 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 boom. So the reason, as I'm mixing this up, I'm going to thin it about a little bit more than 2 to 1. So there's my Candlelight Yellow, which is the lantern plus white. You can see I pretty much mixed that color, but I wanted it a specific consistency. So that's why I'm doing a new well. And I'm going to grab my water. Pop it about like that. Let's see. I want to make sure I've got the right consistency. You want it pretty strong. It's actually should not be very thin. So I'm going to say, and the stronger it is, the less you're going to see the pink through. So this is fairly strong. And this is the reason I use the Candlelight. It's got a little bit more coverage to it. So it's almost dry. We got to make sure that your underpainting is dry. And while I'm actually waiting for that, I'm going to actually bring this center area up more because as it is, it's going to look very orange. I need more white. More white, please. Let's just do a little bit of a textured side. That'll dry fast. So let's do some cloth texture real quick. So I'm going to do some real strong white to make sure that my yellow really shows through. Okay, so we've got some texture, brings it up to pure white. I let it dry between layers. If you prime your mini black, you can see how this has actually been zenith primed. So it was primed black, and then I sprayed white from above, Wasser. So you can still see the black primer here, right? And I sprayed down white from above. And then I did a little bit of underpainting, like adding some white to areas I wanted to be brighter. You can see that on the front as well. And then we grab our yellow, and we have magic. Let's grab it. Yellow, yellow. Let's hope it's thin enough. And you pretty much just paint it right over the top. Put it like a wash. Now it is going to dry darker than it starts. One thing I will do sometimes if I feel like I may have gone too strong is I will go in with my brush after I rinse it out and pull some of the excess color off. But it depends. It depends. But as it dries, you will see that the white part is much lighter and that this part is more orange. Yep. Well, yeah, because you want to be able to see a little bit of the pink through it. Because that everywhere that it's thinner is going to be orange, right? Is going to be your shadow. So if you just paint yellow over the top without it being thinned, it's not going to really show up, right? Your orange shadows aren't going to show up as much. So you could leave it thicker, Wasser, but then you might lose all your underpainting. Because remember, paint, even thinned paint is opaque. It has opacity to it. So that means that the thicker it is, like if you could zenith prime a model, and if you use full strength paint over it, you would lose all your zenith. It would just be not worth doing it. Yep, you would probably layer up with a lighter yellow, just like I would be doing with this guy. We got a bit of our gray in here because I did this so fast. So the reason it's not as orange is because this gray underpainting, like the black with the white, is more of a gray. So I'm getting some of that through here. So that's why this looks not as bright. See? So this is very orange. Miniatures done you. But yeah, so once you've got this, then you can just bring in more yellow highlights if you want. But yeah, normally it would not be this gray. Normally we look more like this. Or the front. When I painted the front, I did a much more straight up layer of pink. Oh, okay. Cool. Thanks, Turgeon. Thank you so much. Hopefully the Amazon review is good. I'm hoping you enjoy it. All right. But yeah, after this, I would just grab some yellow and white. And just like I'm doing on that other model, I would layer it up if I wanted it to be brighter. If I felt like I wanted it to be actually brighter instead of just lighter, I might put more of my yellow on there so that I can knock out some of that gray in my underpainting, my gray that showed through the pink. So this is real quick, but you get the idea. But you end up with a very nice yellow, as you can see. Oh yeah, oh wow, dang. I'm sorry, Luca. I didn't mean it. Blame Wasser. I needed to demo. I swear. Okay, all right. Anyway, that's how it kind of looks. If I did more pink on the underpainting, it would be a stronger pink like this. Yes, I almost finished her. She got some highlights on. We'll do Kathy next time, folks. So we'll be with the Kathy Wapple tribute miniature, which helps, of course, pay for her cancer treatment bills. It's cool. We'll just be painting her. She told me she wanted magenta hair, so we're gonna be using magenta again. And I think I might do teal and purple with the magenta. So cool. Because that's, okay, so the pink and white is something that is out there on the internet, Wasser. A lot of painters have talked about doing this technique, but I had never done it on a miniature for the stream. And so that's why I decided I wanted to try it on stream. Because sometimes you hear about things, but you don't know if they're for real. So I decided if I did it on the stream, people could see how to do it. That may not have found a technique tutorial elsewhere. But yeah, you can, if you do a search on painting yellow with pink, you'll find several videos on YouTube. Yeah, different people doing it different ways. Yeah, it's a nice, the Bones USA version is real crisp and sharp too. I like it. Can't wait. All right, everybody, I'm going to turn you over to Luca. I've run very late. I'm sorry, Luca. I've totally taken your time. You're not done. You're about to start, you liar. Also, sorry, not sorry. I'm getting out of here. All right, I'm gonna go and enjoy the fact that my book is a bestseller and totally probably eat some chocolate in celebration. So yeah, anybody who wants to check out my book, I thank you so much for the checking it out and even reading it on occasion. I appreciate it so much. Our next goal is 10 reviews. We need 10 reviews. All right. Have a good one, everybody. I love you all. Thanks for sticking with us through all of this. And thank you, Roger. Thank you for, I'm feeling great about it. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow and we'll paint, we're back to Sophie, so the blue-black armor. All right. Bye. Oh no.